Oh, what's good, everybody? We are live on YouTube, on social media. This is the Coach and Bro Show. We do 2 episodes a week, Mondays and then Thursdays live on Stadium, Amazon Prime, DirecTV, YouTube TV. We got a lot to talk about today, so we're not going to waste any time. Let's bring in my boy from russosbrand.com, and he watched reportedly 18 hours of wrestling from Friday night to Sunday. Is that true, Vince? Is that true?
Yes. 18 hours. And here's the crazy thing, Coach.
Yes.
I wanted more. More. Give me more.
Oh, man. A lot of people were saying that.
Yeah.
Just none of them will watch Wrestlepalooza. All right. So, Vince, we got a lot of topics today. For those of you watching in the chat, if you'd be so kind as to hit the like button, it would really help us and the brand. By the way, Vince, twice a week we run the show, but only once a week on Thursdays do we do the Wheel of Doom.
Yes.
How can people participate?
Yes, guys, if you want to become part of the conversation with your super sticker or donations, we'll pull you right on the screen and we will include you in the conversation. You got to do that through super stickers and donations over $5 and you will become part of the show.
Certainly will do that. All right, we have actually shipped out all of our winners so far. We are up to date.
Very
If
nice.
you're a winner, you should be getting your Smartest Mark Alive, Hitesh. Will you be the next one? That begs the question. All right, so let's jump right into it because we always say we're going to go 45 minutes, then we go 90. Vince, obviously, big weekend in wrestling. We'll get to All Out a little bit, but the big news was the WWE rollout on ESPN. And I want to start with a positive. If you don't mind. I want to give flowers to ESPN because I don't know another network that's ever done more on their side to promote a partnership starting than ESPN. Every college football game, every sports center, they had Cody Rhodes on all this stuff, John Cena. They did everything they were supposed to do. WWE, not so much. Because the King of Pops, your boy, promised us a lot of surprises. Your boy said it's going to be like something you've never seen before. I'm paraphrasing, of course. But Vince, they had 5 matches, no run-ins, no big stars that I'll get to, absolutely nothing. And one of the 2 surprises, Vince, was Stephanie McMahon, Tripp's wife, finding out live from The Undertaker that she was going to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame next April. Your thoughts on and Vince, the reporter for ESPN that covers the WWE, she gave the show a C+, called it, quote, underwhelming, and she works there. Your thoughts?
Well, there's a lot to unpack there, Coach. And I also want to say, I'm strictly speaking from a business point of view. We have to keep in mind this is the first time you're asking people to pay for an ESPN app.
Correct.
$30. You're asking them to pay for this app to watch Wrestlepalooza. Okay, fine, no problem. As a matter of fact, the entire SmackDown show was designed around telling people how to get the app. They're trying to get people to pay the $30. That's fine. I understand all that. It's business. Here's the problem. Now you're promoting surprises. So now if I'm on the fence, I really don't want to pay the $30, but if there's going to be surprises, oh my gosh, I got to see what they're going to pull out of their hat. So you're teasing something that may entice people to buy this, and then you're not delivering. And I have to tell you, Coach, every time something like this happens, I really try to think it through, and I really try to put myself in their shoes. And the only thing I could possibly imagine was, Was something planned that fell through at the last minute? But then if that's the case, Coach, you know wrestling, you got a plan A, a plan B, a plan C, and a plan D. So if something fell through with plan A, then you go to plan B. But to promote something for the first show where you're asking a consumer to pay $30 and then not deliver, to me, that's just a bad idea coming out of the chute, Coach. And like I said, I try to put myself in their shoes. I don't know why you would promise something and not deliver.
That's kind of where I was all day, and I see somebody in the chat saying exactly where I'm going to go. You guys need to understand that are watching right now. This is a marriage between sports and sports entertainment. And so to me, if you're going to cross promote, and Vince, at one point on one of the football games in the afternoon, they put up a graphic of all WWE wrestlers who had once been college football stars. There was Rocket Miami. There was Roman at Georgia Tech. Baron Corbin played in the league, for God's sake. So there's been a lot of crossover. And we know over the years, Dennis Rodman and all Shaq and all these different people. So to me, the natural thing to do is to cross promote on the show. And if plan A, it had to be The Rock. Vince, Rock's football league is on ESPN and Fox. Rock played football at Miami. When they came out of the cold open, which, by the way, I was kind of joking at first, Vince, but the more stuff people have sent to me throughout the day, I'm kind of irked now. Mm-hmm. I got a picture of me sitting with Triple H, 2016, 2017, something like that. And with the SportsCenter logo behind us, really nice interview that we did. We did tons of those. We went to multiple WrestleManias with SportsCenter. Me and my 4 other guys on my team made that happen. And I'm sitting there watching this 4.5-minute open. And I thought, here I come. Here comes the coach. Here I come. There's Hannah Storm. Why is Hannah Storm? Okay, Hannah Storm. Okay. 4.5 minutes. No mention of your boy. I didn't even need it for me. I needed it for my team. We had a team of 5. Here's the kicker, Vince. 2 of the guys on the team now work at WWE. One of them helped with the package. So how do we not get mentioned? Petty.
I told you, Coach, you made the fatal mistake of making it on your own with your own brand and not needing them to make a living. And that's at the top of their no-no list. If you make it without them, they're not happy about that, Coach. You know that.
You're probably right. But I moved past that very quickly. Here's what I would have loved to have seen. Because to me, it had to be all hands on deck. You remember the red carpet they had at the Netflix Open back in January? You remember that little thing, Vince?
Yes, sir.
And everybody was there. All the big stars. There was no Roman. What if they would have come out of that package and instead of Triple H, who just voiced that package, what if it was Roman Reigns standing in the ring? What if it was The Rock or you could have had Pat McAfee, who's a god in that town, who got his own entrance in a truck with Tyrese Halliburton, the star of the Pacers. You could have had him introduce the star who welcomed ESPN to WWE. Could have done all of that. They did none of it.
Not to mention the big King of Pop's entrance in pulling up in the limo. Coach, I don't think they are aware of how self-serving across they come. I don't think they're aware of it. I mean, you give Hunter this grand entrance walking out of the limo. You would do that in the past when somebody was part of the show.
Part of the show.
If Vince McMahon is an integral part with Stone Cold, Vince McMahon showing up is a big deal because now you know it's on. Triple H is not a part of the show. So if you got to show me these arrival shots because I'm going to say in my mind, oh, he's the Dana White of the WWE. Whatever they're trying to do, I don't understand the purpose for that. Then on top of that, the Stephanie, into the WWE Hall of Fame, which they just did that with Triple H not too long ago. Man, this stuff just comes across as very, very self-serving. I don't think they feel that way or are aware of that vibe at all. I really believe that they think the general public loves them so much. And I don't know about that with the price of tickets these days. I don't know if your fan base is as in love with you as you think they are.
What is wrong with you?
Uh-oh.
What in the hell is wrong with you? You don't think that they love Triple H and Stephanie, and then Undertaker turning to the dude to the right going, how'd you feel about spending $9,000 on this ticket? Oh, I'll get back to you in a second. So Stephanie, anyway. I mean, that's exactly kind of how it was going to go. And I was in there going, oh my goodness. To me, it is, and this is the part that blows my mind. I don't know if you saw Dana White, who just did Impulsive with Logan Paul, his podcast. Right. He was asked about, and I think that Logan assumed Dana White would be like, I love the WWE. We're all in bed together. He said, I don't even like wrestling. He said, I respect the athletes, but I don't like it. I don't watch it. He came to WrestleMania events, stayed there long enough to have his shot in the first row. Then he was gone. And Vince, he posted a video of himself walking out of the event, and you could see the match going on behind him. Dana White is not in this with the WWE. He's in it for that side of the fence.
Yeah, and Coach, I have to tell you, man, the part that I want to say was a little cringe to me. I was actually out eating with my wife on Friday night when they were doing all this pre-show stuff. And there was a female representing ESPN. I don't know who her name was, but they had Becky on and they had CM Punk on. And all the woman kept doing was laughing. And, the wrestler Becky's in character, and you got the straight ESPN reporter there laughing at what Becky's saying. And I'm like, man, ESPN is real sports. And I don't know if the wrestlers don't understand how to present themselves in this format or on this show, but it literally came across like the ESPN, talking head was laughing at professional wrestling, and the wrestlers were doing nothing to stop her. They were kind of playing into it.
Well, here's the problem, Vince, because having been there for so long, real reporters, just like we've seen over the years with Stossel and all these different guys, they love when they're around it to act like they're fans of it. For example, when The Rock used to come and do all of his movies, and they would have me do the interview with him because they knew I knew him. They knew I'd ask the right questions. And then there was an anchor, he's still there, named Kevin Nagandi. Kevin Nagandi realized after 3 or 4 of these that, oh, wait a second, Rock's a big deal. I think I'd like to be a part. So they booked him on the morning show, which he was doing at the time. And I was supposed to come in. I get a text at 4:30 in the morning. Coach, we don't need you. Kevin's going to do the beast. So I knew exactly what had happened. And then when you watch it back, you're like, he has no clue what to ask because you're trying to be in this world that you don't understand, a world that you could never be in. So when you see somebody laughing, it's because they're nervous, because they don't understand the content, and they don't do the homework in order to be ready for the content. And that happens almost every time you see, not just at ESPN, but I'm saying across the board when you're doing these interviews. And then on the flip side, this is why you got to be very particular about what talent you bring to ESPN. Mitt, where's the Miz at? He's got his own golf YouTube channel. He is as crossover as they get. He should have been somewhere. Seth Rollins is doing a show for NFL Network. He said 20 appearances. Got to have him involved. You got to have other guys that understand sports, understand the crossover events, and understand what this is. It's not two separate worlds anymore. They're colliding, but it has to make sense, because in order for this to financially make sense, the sports world has to buy in and the wrestling world has to buy in.
Well, Coach, having worked for both companies, I mean, the way you just put that and the way you just laid that out, I've not heard anybody else say that, and I don't think anybody can, but you are spot on, because I'm talking about just, watching this as a television viewer, and it's exactly what you said. It looked like two different worlds. One was an entertainment world, and one was a sports world. And that's the way it came across.
It does. And it doesn't, to me, it doesn't have to be that way, because I'm still a little bit frustrated at my first 4 or 5 years. I felt like I was fighting all the time, fighting for my own credibility because of where I had come from. If I had come from CBS Sports, nobody would have said anything. But because I came from the WWE, it was always, oh, what does this guy know? Well, bottom line is I knew more than most of them. But that's the world you fight when you get there. Yeah. And they don't have to be separate worlds, but it's going to take some really smart programming, because Vince, look at just the game that Joe Tessitore was on. And Joe Tess, you talk about how important he was. He did a game in Memphis that ended around 3 p.m., and he did the post-game show in Indianapolis Saturday night, which means they gave him a little PJ. They gave him a little private jet to fly the hour and 15 minutes. And they had Cody Rhodes on that football game asking Jesse Palmer, who's the partner for Tessitore, he's also the host of The Bachelor, asking him a question so they could have crosstalk.
Yeah.
That made sense. Nobody's laughing at each other. Jesse, very respectful of the wrestling. And obviously Cody Rhodes, he calls himself the QB1. That makes sense, but it has to make sense. And they got to think about this kind of stuff. And clearly I feel like they were so, let's just get it out there, instead of, man, is it ready?
Yeah.
Nobody knows who gets it. For me, it's very simple. I went on my phone and I bought it. Yeah. Other people are like, man, it didn't work. I went to Hulu, went to Disney Plus, and I don't blame ESPN. They spent $1.6 million or $1.6 billion.
Yeah.
All right, we've got some super stickers we got to get to. Catman580. Let's go to that one first, producer man. How about ESPN grading WrestlePalooza a C grade? Not a good start, in my opinion. Catman, you're exactly right. And this is what they need, though, Vince. You can't cover a sport that you're in partnership with without having your reporters having the ability to be honest. And she was honest, the reporter, because it was a C-plus show. So I'm glad to see that it's not criticizing them. It's being honest. And if it would have been an A show, cool. But, Vince, it wasn't. It was a C-plus show.
Yeah, and think about that, man. These aren't marks looking at the show and giving them 5 stars. These are people that they're going to really have to be wowed to put over the show. If it's just a ho-hum run-of-the-mill show, they're going to say that. I mean, they're going to have to really, really be wowed and say, oh, holy crap, maybe I should watch the next time. Maybe you should watch. And when I say that, Coach, think about it. When is the last time the WWE really wowed us? When is the last time?
Yeah. I was thinking about that, and to me, it was SummerSlam. That was a big wow to me, with Brock Lesnar coming back, and I hadn't even thought about him. But prior to SummerSlam, we were working off of WrestleMania. And WrestleMania, there was no surprises. In fact, it was the lack of. And I don't know what's going on, Vince, in that creative room, that writer's room. But when I was coming through, when you were coming through, that was the excitement of the show. Was planning the surprises, executing them, pulling them off. How much did you love it, Vince? When you would write something, you knew it was awesome. You knew it was great. And then you got to sit back and watch it play out. Wasn't that the best?
Oh, God, Coach, there were times when I would watch something like that play out. And I mean, I'm not ashamed to say I would get choked up. I would start tearing up when you see something played out to perfection. But think about that, man. What is talent really given today that has to be played out to perfection? It really is C plus. It really is ho hum. It really is a run of the mill. It really is repeated over and over again. I was just watching an episode of the Attitude Era, Coach, and I didn't even know we ended it this way. But Taker, was promising there's a power greater than I. There's a power greater than I. There's a power greater than I. So now it's the end of the show. They got Austin wrapped up in the ropes. Now all of a sudden the lights go and Taker falls to his knee and gives the hand, and this greater power starts walking to the ring. We're at the end of the show. Coach, he gets to the ring, and the way we shot it, he revealed himself to just Austin. So you saw Austin's reaction, and we went off the air. And I'm like, my God, how do you not tune in next week? And the only reason why I'm saying that is not because I wrote it. When's the last time we had a WWE show end like that, Coach? When?
A cliffhanger? You got to tune in next week to find out. You've got to wait to listen to what he is going to say. Vince, clearly you did not hear the King of Pops on Saturday night. We're going to have Cody Rhodes at the show tonight. He's going to address Seth Rollins. We're going to – oh, wait, you're talking – okay, I'm sorry. It's like I get caught up sometimes. That's the beauty. That is TV drama 101.
Yes.
101.
Yep.
101. And I'm trying to figure out because I know they're watching. I know they're listening. Trips, what up? And at some point you mentioned the word self-serving. I'd like to believe that Triple H is I know he's a smart person and I know he's dedicated to the business, but I've got to believe that he's not living in a tunnel, that he sees all, and this is not just us. Vince, I went through my entire feed. Some people think we're the ticket price whisperers because they're sending me all the stuff. Coach, you and Vince got to talk about it. Coach, you and Vince got to talk about it. And I'm like, they can't live in this tunnel that they think everything is phenomenal and just to put the dollar sign as success. I get in arguments all the time with people there, but Coach, they got all these billions of dollars. Okay. Does that mean the show's good? NFL makes billions of dollars. Was the Chiefs-Giants game good last night? No. Yep. It was terrible. You got to really do something to make it good. And you've talked about this many times. The money came first. Now they have 5 years and 9.5 years to make it worth it. And if I'm ESPN and I'm watching that show last night or Saturday night, I'm very disappointed. And I'm getting trips on the phone.
Yeah, I got to tell you, Coach, when you watch Unreal, that's really a good show to watch, to at least see the atmosphere and the environment backstage. I'm telling you, they think it's good. They believe what they're doing is good TV and good content. Man, Coach, before I came on the show today, I was listening to some economist. Believe it or not, I'm listening to an economist talk. And the economist said, the number one mistake people make in business is if they start going down a road and that road becomes the norm. And even if all the number and all the analytics are telling you you're going down the wrong road, they're going to continue to go down that road because they're used to it and because it's comfortable. And they could have all the signs in the world saying you're going down the wrong road, but they're comfortable and they will continue to do it. That's exactly what I feel is happening with the WWE right now.
Or, I agree with that, or you enter into partnerships, Vince, with people that don't know your business. So if they don't know your business, then you want to think that you're always right in the decisions that you're making. Because ESPN doesn't know. Netflix, they don't know. Peacock, those executives, they don't know. They're writing the checks. We know. We know, so it has to be right. What about the fans? And what about, by the way, somebody sent me I hadn't seen it. and we're not going to play it on the show because I don't want to insult Michael Cole, but he did it on camera, Vince, for the pre-show, that basically he did a one-shot, and he goes, today it's for me. Today it's for the camera, and he named them all off, all the camera guys, all the producers, you know who he didn't name?
Who?
The actual wrestlers. Just like at the Mania last week when Triple H thanked Nick Khan and the fans of Saudi Arabia. Yeah. And so all those standing behind me, you wonder why they're looking pissed off. They're like, we're the ones breaking our elbows and our shoulders and all. I feel bad for the talent right now. I really, really do. Yeah. Because they are not reaping the rewards other than a few at the top. They're the ones out there. They're the reason ESPN's paying that, Netflix, but they never get thanked. Ever. All right, we got a lot of super stickers to get to, Vince, because we've been talking too long. We're not including our fans, Vince. We're not including our fans. Come on, we apologize. Let's go to Truth Serum Show. He said Triple H is the DJ Khaled of pro wrestling. All hype, no delivery. People are not going to keep buying the Wolf tickets. He keeps selling. Vince, I don't know how long that they're going to allow him to do what he did Saturday. That's going to be resonating for a long time because he was on ESPN when he said that. Tons of surprises. And I think the whole crowd, because the tag match with AJ Lee, and the crowd was dead for that. Absolutely dead. It went over 30 minutes, by the way, Vince. We went on at 9:04, and we did a little contest on our watch along on when it would end. It ended at 9:32.
Yeah, that's long, man. That's
long.
Especially when you have a very, very predictable finish as well. Very long.
Yeah, AJ Lee won with her spider thing, tap out. CM Punk, and they were actually, I saw people online. He was blown up, and it was a tag match. Yeah. I don't see a lot of guys blown up. He needs to get his cardio on point. Drew McIntyre, who called out the entire locker room for not looking right, not being in shape. He's right. He's right. A lot of guys out there are gassed. Yeah. They're not working. They're not going to the gym. Let's go to Smartest Mark Alive, who, by the way, Vince, was our first Wheel of Doom winner.
Very nice.
Yeah. He got his, by the way. I think he lives in Australia. My whole life, I wanted to go to WrestleMania. I was planning to come all the way from, he does. There you go. All the way. I know my guys. From Australia for my 30th birthday next year and fulfill my childhood dream. And WWE has ruined it for me because the product now sucks so much. Can you imagine feeling this way?
Yeah. Right? Every time, I got to be honest with you, Coach, when somebody talks, Australia is on my bucket list.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
You've never been to Australia?
I never went because when I started working, they would only take the talent who was booked on the show.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you why I want to go. There's one reason in particular, because people have told me that kangaroos run wild on golf courses.
Oh, you haven't seen the videos?
No.
Oh, it's absolutely true. In fact, on the PGA, they have a big PGA Tour event, Australian PGA Tour. Right. A lot of guys go down and play it because it's in December, and that's summertime for them.
Yeah.
And there are kangaroos all over the place. Oh, yeah. It's absolutely bananas. Yeah. Now, I will tell Smartest Mark Alive, I don't know if you heard this, Vince, but Triple H announced the main event for the Crown Jewel.
I saw that, yes.
Right? Crown Jewel is normally in Saudi Arabia. It's not this year in Saudi Arabia. It's in Perth, Australia. Right. So Smartest Mark, if you want to go, you'll see Cody against Seth and a bunch of other stars. So maybe you can go to that show. They didn't want to have two shows so quickly back to back in Saudi Arabia.
Coach, can I tell you something that just is such a major mistake that they're making, and there was a big spotlight on it on this show this past weekend. You know, Coach, again, I just got to go back to the Attitude Era show because I watch these shows, and every single match, whoever loses the match is protected, even heels. If a heel loses the match, what I mean by protected is you're giving the person an out. I lost the match for this reason. We had I saw a match between, the first match was Mr. Ass against the Big Show. Now, I know we got to put Big Show over, but how are we going to do that without hurting Mr. Ass? And sure enough, Mr. Ass is in an angle with Road Dogg. So during the course of the match, Road Dogg comes out, and that's your out. So now Billy Gunn can say as a heel, I would have beat the Big Show if Road Dogg. Everybody is protected, but here's how you protect people. You don't worry about the clean finish. Nobody worried about you. Coach, you did clean finishes at the pay-per-view. Because TV is episodic. We don't care about clean finishes. We care about run-ins and interferences so we can continue stories. But those stories and those screw finishes, they keep the stories going and it protects everybody. This show, you killed John Cena. You don't protect John Cena at all. He gets annihilated. So here's my first question. I'm watching this. Okay, great for Brock. What does this do for John Cena? Nothing. Zero. Let's go to the main event. You beat freaking Drew McIntyre clean. Great for Cody Rhodes. What does it do for Drew McIntyre? Nothing. It makes him not worth anything. So they've given these marks the clean finishes they want in fake fights. These fights are fake, but we got to have clean finishes. But in the meantime, Coach, every time you do it, you're hurting the talent. You're putting another dent in Drew McIntyre because you've got to beat him clean. You beat him clean, you're not protecting him. This is the simplest format in the world, Coach. You've got to give the person that loses the match some kind of an out. You beat him clean, now he's worthless.
That's very well said.
Thank you.
I will respond with this. Who'd you ever beat? Vince, I thought about that as I was watching Drew lay there, and I'm waiting for the run-in. I'm waiting for the big surprise. I'm waiting for Randy Orton. I'm waiting for somebody, and it never came. And I said on Sirius today, I said, yeah, it was clean. They're like, no, he didn't. They did the spot out by the table. I'm like, no, that a clean finish is 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring.
Yes.
That's it. And did you notice the crowd didn't pop either? Yep. And he's your babyface. He's your QB1 because they were all expecting it too. They're like, we've seen no run-ins tonight. We've seen nothing that you're talking about. So it's got to come here because Trips told us it would. Yeah. And so to me, that's the thing I used to love about a really chicken shit heel. You described it perfectly. You give him an excuse.
Absolutely.
Kind of like a Toni Storm in the AEW All Out. She loses the title in a fatal 4-way.
Right. Exactly.
So yes. Now what is she going to say on Dynamite Wednesday? You tell me exactly what she's going to say when they ask her about losing.
Yeah, I would have never lost the match one-on-one. Somebody else had to get pinned in order for me to lose the match. That does not hurt Toni Storm. What does Drew McIntyre say? Drew McIntyre comes out on Raw and says, guys, I lost another one. I lost another one clean in the middle, and I'm going to come out here next month, and I'm going to tell you how I'm going to beat so-and-so, and guess what? I'm going to lose again. The most important thing is protecting every single person on the roster. That is the most important thing. And Triple H knows that, Coach. We never beat Triple H clean without an out.
Never. And that's why I keep wondering, and I promise you guys, I know we have a lot of super stickers to get to. Boy, you guys are amazing. You see my text right now, Vince. Producer man's like, super sticker. I'll get to him right after this.
Who'd Producer Man ever beat, by the way?
You haven't heard? He's in the Legends Lounge, by the way.
Very
you
nice.
And I aren't. Drew McIntyre, to me, there's got to be heat there. Drew McIntyre is one of my favorite superstars in the world. He looks the part, 6'6", 320 pounds, shredded. He came out last week berating the locker room, saying, stop worrying about social media and validation and start worrying about getting your ass in the gym. Start worrying about going. And I'm like, thank you. Somebody's calling them out. And then I know that you're probably the most frugal friend that I have. So I know you're not spending the $30 a month. But Vince, I thought about you during the Intergender tag match because AJ Lee, for as much as she looked great, six-pack, in shape, she looked amazing. She threw the worst punches. At one point, they were all punching each other. Vince, I kid you not, the wrists were like this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who is this going to hurt?
Yeah.
But then Seth Rollins did the same thing. And Seth throws the worst punches in the business right now. The worst.
And that's what drives me crazy, because you hear what a great worker Seth Rollins is. First of all, he sells nothing. So you're not a great worker if you sell nothing. But it's what does that term even mean today, a great worker? It's not how you and I look at a great worker.
No. A great worker would have been 4 or 5 days a week. We're going to get back, by the way, to Seth Rollins, something that Cody Rhodes said in an interview that I want to get your reaction to. But let's rip through some of these, because you guys are valuable to us, and the money that you spend with us is absolutely amazing. So let's go to Frank Rizzo. He says Andreas Hale wrote that ESPN article review, who ironically had an MMA show on SiriusXM that got canceled because of Pro Wrestling Nation taking over. You think he was spiteful? Frank, I do not. Because if you read the article, everything he said in the article, I agreed with. Every single thing. And I'm not spiteful, even though my show potentially could have taken over his show. I don't know. But Vince, they used the word underwhelming. And he, in the article, he really focused on the surprises that Triple H promised. And that's the one thing you can't do.
Yeah.
You can't promise and not deliver.
Yeah.
You can't do that. You can't, especially in night number one. We could talk until we're blue in the face. You can't do that. They needed something. Frank Rizzo again. What are your thoughts on WWE allegedly buying up All Out tickets to make it appear it was empty in sections? I doubt that happened.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Oh, wait, they just picked up another dollar. Every dollar that's on the floor, TKO will pick up. They're not spending money out of spite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you imagine, though, if they did?
Yeah. Well, we can't put anything past them, but I'm with you, Coach. I don't know if we'd stoop that low.
I don't think they would.
Yeah.
Let's go to Tom Brady 12. Why doesn't WWE care about the ring stages and decorations? I remember Backlash had the Blades of Vengeance, had the V. Now it's small stage. I miss Vince. We're getting a lot more of those. And 6 months ago, Vince, I don't know if we could have sat here and said that people want Vince back. I think we can confidently say that now. They at least want somebody back who puts the talent first and puts storylines first.
Well, also what Tom is saying too is, they're cutting back on the bells and whistles. I mean, why are they cutting back on the bells and whistles? To make that profit margin look even bigger. So even something like that, stage design and the way they're setting up the arena, even something like that is getting cut back on. If they don't have the money, Coach, that's one thing. Obviously, you don't have the money, we got to cut back. I understand that, but that isn't their problem right now. But they're even cutting back on that to make that bottom line look healthier.
Let me quickly explain to all of you who are watching right now the difference between 20 or even 15 years ago and today when it comes to what me and Vince are talking about. So 20 years ago, you had pay-per-view every single month, 12 or 13 a year. So you had to push people to buy it. So you had to make it the best show possible. But you didn't get it until after the show was over. So the presentation, it was everything. Now, when does the money come in, Vince?
Money comes in up front. You pay for it up front.
So let's say it's $1 million. In the old days, they wanted to make $1 million. So Kevin Dunn, who I worked for, he's the man who hired me. He's like, if I have all these bells and whistles, I need to get to $1 million. Now they have the $1 million. So you say every bell and whistle that I take away, that gives me more of a profit margin.
Beautiful. Yep.
Pretty simple, right?
Very well said, Coach. Yes.
Thank you. You're going to like this one, Frank Rizzo. You might be winning the Super Sticker Award of the day, Frank. You better watch yourself. Vince's fave, Mickie James, going into the TNA Hall of Fame at Bound for Glory. She's a really nice person.
Oh, I love Mickie James. Yeah, she did something for me personally once that I will never, ever, ever forget. So she's always going to be one of my favorite people without a shadow of a doubt.
She is amazing. She's such a sweetheart. She works over at Sirius. She kind of got the I know she wasn't happy about it. She was on LFG. I thought she did a really nice job with Bubba Ray and Booker T. And then and Undertaker's good on the show too. And now Undertaker's wife is in Mickey's spot, and she's also on the podcast with him as well. So it's pretty clear Taker wanted her on, and Taker is Taker. So whatever he wants, he's probably going to get. And what can you do? He's Taker. He's Taker. Let's go to Alan Gonzalez. Triple H is a petty man. Coach, he still remembers the overrun segment you and Rock did on him. No ESPN package for you.
That's right. Yeah, you're the one always bringing that up, Coach. You bring it on yourself, man. You keep bringing it up.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair, and I'll never forget it. Hey, Coach, who's in the crossover tonight? That would be Triple H. Okay, so here's what Rock was like that. Yeah. As soon as I said Triple H was like, we're gonna add this, we're gonna add this, we're gonna add this, we're gonna add this. 26 minutes of brilliance. Brilliance, I say. Thank you, Alan. That made me pop, and it made Vince pop. Smartest Mark alive says, Vince and Coach, if you're coffee fans, Australia has the best in the world. Another reason for you to come down. Do you drink coffee?
Oh my God, I'm addicted to coffee. If I'm addicted to anything, it's coffee, Coach. I drink it all day long, all day.
Oh my God, do you know why I hate it? Why? I hate coffee because my mother was also addicted to coffee. She was a teacher, and she would come in every morning to wake me up and get me out of bed, and I would smell the coffee breath. And so when I think of that, I go, oh, my God, Mom, quit. I want to sleep. I want to sleep. So when I smell coffee, I think I have to get my ass out of bed. It's weird. It goes back like
I thought you were going to say you smell the aroma of coffee, and you didn't like that. How do you not love the aroma of coffee in the morning? Oh.
No, it was the breath. It was the breath. DJ Noel says NXT better than the main roster, but I feel bad for Triple H. He's getting all the hate. I think Netflix, TKO, and Nick Khan should as well. Oh, there's no question. There's room to go around here. There's no question.
Yeah, Vince. But I'm going to push back on Noel a little bit because Noel, Triple H is the one putting himself out there. He's putting himself out there in front of everything. You're seeing the guy ad nauseum. So that's why I don't feel sorry for him, because if they keep putting you out there and I'm a fan sitting at home, I'm going to say, what am I going to say, Coach? That's the guy. That's the guy running
That's
things.
The guy.
That's the guy right there. He certainly isn't laying low or being small.
I have been shocked, and if he wasn't doing this, we wouldn't say anything.
Right.
But I am. If they just had to get stuff done, and they go, "Hey, Trips, can you come over here, just voice this, or come over here, do this on camera?" But these are big time shoots. Right. These are on the top of football stadiums announcing WrestleMania. Yes. This is a 4.5 minute package on ESPN. This is Pat McAfee pulling up in a truck with Tyrese Halliburton, and who's the person that grabs him around the neck as he's going to the ring? Why did he need to be in that spot?
Yep.
The answer is he doesn't. Ego is a crazy, crazy, crazy thing. Why would we need to see a video with his wife getting inducted and him at gorilla position, clapping, crying? I'd be proud too if it was my wife, if I had one. But but the thing is, Vince, I feel like we're just a conduit. Everybody that watches our show, they get it. All these fans, they see it. How does he not see it?
Because you know why, Coach? They say the same thing we say. And it's just because we watched it for so long. Same thing. Vince wouldn't have done that. Vince
I say that all the time.
Himself in that spot. Vince would have put a talent. The only time when Vince was a talent, he was on television. When Vince was not a talent, he was giving it to a talent on the roster. We would never see Vince in opens and voiceovers, and never, ever, ever. And Triple H is in charge of this stuff. He's the one making these calls.
It happens so infrequently that it was a bit, whenever Vince was scheduled to come over to the TV studio, like it would circulate that Vince was coming. That's how rare it was. Hey, right. Vince is coming. We got to make sure when he walks in the door, it's ready to go. We're hitting record. And that was it.
Yeah.
Because it never happened.
Yep.
It hardly ever happened.
Yep.
Producer man, let's go to the truth. Producer man can't see. You guys are amazing. I know I keep saying that, but God, I love you guys. Man, I love doing the show. The Truth Serum Show. Stephanie in the Hall of Fame and Pat McAfee are not surprises. If Triple H thinks those are epic surprises, he's lost the plot. I got a million of those on Saturday, Vince. Those were the only surprises in the show. But we knew McAfee was coming. Yeah. We knew that. But it was if you're really looking at surprises and saying, what did we not expect? Stephanie, Undertaker, and then Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Outside of that, there was nothing else.
And again, I am going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that a surprise was planned and maybe something fell through. However, you've got to plan for that.
You got to plan.
You've got to plan, especially in the world of wrestling. You've got to plan for that.
There's heat going on somewhere because Cena gets squashed. Then you've got Drew McIntyre getting squashed. And I know we have the conspiracy theories, but Vince, it just came out. Sergeant Slaughter did an interview, and he was at Vince's birthday party. And I think on some level, and maybe we're completely off on this, but I don't think we are. Anybody that was at that birthday party either has not been pushed in the last month. Drew McIntyre was there. Cena was there. What does their last month look like? Pulling the Boston show away from Cena, cleaning, beating Drew McIntyre clean after he made those comments. Are those coincidences? I don't know.
Yeah,
we're just here to point it out. But True Serum, I think you're onto something. Back to Alan Gonzalez. He's going to be on the Wheel of Doom on Thursday, Alan. You got to tune in. First year free on DirecTV stream. Second, either $29.99, $36 with ads, or $45 premium. Where does it stop? My goodness. I don't know. I don't know where it stops. I don't know. But
I'll tell you where it stops, guys.
Wait.
It stops when you stop paying. And guys, this is not an anti-WWE thing at all. I'm telling you from my own personal experiences. I love Dexter. I watched every season of Dexter on Showtime, every single one. I get Paramount Plus. Okay, I get it. I already pay for that. New season of Dexter coming out. Oh, now you want another $6 from me on top of what I'm paying to watch Dexter. Guess what? I ain't paying it. You know why? Because sooner or later, you're going to put Dexter on Paramount Plus for free. Probably a year down the road, it'll be free. So rather than me go, but the WWE, you don't have to wait a year. You can go on YouTube that night and watch it for free. You can go, you went on YouTube right after Lollapalooza and you saw everything you needed to see, Coach. That's what cracks me up. So you people have to stop. I'm talking to you as a consumer. Hey, Coach, when I go grocery shopping now, you can ask my wife. I only buy items that are on sale. If it's not on sale, I don't care how bad I want it. I don't buy it. So you guys are answering your own question. They're going to continue this as long as you keep paying. That's business, Coach.
And I actually feel bad. I feel bad for ESPN. And I know I'm a little bit biased, Vince, but ESPN was my dream since I was 6 years old. And I achieved that dream. And I'm very proud of that fact. I never dreamed about being in the WWE. I dreamed about being at ESPN. I have 2 projects right now that are currently on ESPN. I need this app to work for my own professional needs. But this has been talked about for 10 years. And there's enough that, like to me, why would you not put the SEC for like $2.99 a game? Like the really big games. Because they're on the ESPN app. To me, there's enough on there as a sports fan and as a person that needs to see all this content to do my shows that I'm okay with paying the $30. I really, really am. But I'm also fans of everything. Wrestling fans, for the most part, are not. They're not sports fans. So I don't know how that's going to work.
I love what you just said there, Coach, because think about that. Why not give us the option to buy pay-per-view by pay-per-view? In other words, that's going to force the WWE deliver. And that's what I'm saying. That's, again, if I'm ESPN, I'm having a conversation with Triple H, and I'm saying, you know what? Maybe there isn't something we didn't understand, but this was the first big show, and you promised surprises. A lot of people may have bought this because you put the seed in their head. The Rock's going to show up. So can you explain to us in your mind what was the surprise? They've got to have these conversations with the WWE. Otherwise, Coach, they're just going to coast. They're just going to coast.
Hold their feet to the fire.
Yes,
You paid $1.6 billion. It's not like they deserve it.
Yes.
They deserve it. And you don't have to be a big fan to know that was not it.
Yes.
They deserved a Netflix rollout type of show.
Yes.
They deserved that because ESPN is way bigger than Netflix. I'm talking 46 years in existence. I think that's right. Yeah, 46 years. 1979. ESPN's way bigger than Netflix to the average person walking down the street. It just is. They deserved better at the end of the day. All right, plenty more super stickers. Varsity VA. Triple H wanted to make sure his wife got more shine than any of the talent. Plus, nothing for Rhea, Priest, Fatu, or Randy. Exactly. Or Randy, or Bianca, or Roman, or Charlotte, or Bayley. I mean, the list goes on and on, Vince.
Liv Morgan, Liv and Bianca were at the press conference for Saudi Arabia. They looked healthy to me.
Can I please do my impersonation of them at the rollout?
Yeah, please.
Can I do my impersonation? Can you and I'm Liv Morgan. Announce me.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Liv Morgan.
All right, I want to be Charlotte now.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Charlotte Flair.
They were miserable.
Coach, you know what? You know what somebody pointed out to me the other day? This is just how like dopey they are. I had a viewer point this out to me the other day.
Okay.
The viewer said to me, Vince, 3 weeks ago, they said this is John Cena's last appearance on SmackDown. They said that on the show 3 weeks ago. This is Cena. They said, so why has Brock Lesnar shown up on the last 2 SmackDowns looking for John Cena? But that's what I'm talking about, Coach. See, people see this kind of stuff. You said this is Cena's last, and here's Brock Lesnar the 2 weeks that follow. You come on, guys. Can somebody pay attention, please?
How funny would it have been? You could have flipped that around if they were creative enough. But if he showed up, hey, and asking like people, hey, have you seen John? No. And then finally somebody says, Brock, didn't they tell you? He's not going to come to SmackDown anymore. And then Brock gets pissed off and just starts beating people up. Because he's pissed off that he went all the way to SmackDown and there's no John. Could have done that.
Yeah.
That'd have been funny. That'd have been funny.
It's incredible.
Uh-oh. Your boy Jimmy Fingers wants to fight Frank Rizzo for Super Sticker of the Show. And what that means is whoever gives the most collectively gets our award for Super Sticker of the Show. Jimmy Fingers is back, baby. Jimmy Fingers is back with a mid-carder. After that squash of Cena, does this now make Brock Cena's last match where he gets his win back and they hug it out? Or Vince, do you think Hunter ends up wrestling Cena in his suit and open collar and puts himself over?
Well, didn't Triple H say something on NXT when he was in the ring with Shawn about wanting to wrestle again?
There was some reference to that. There was some reference to it as they were the 3 musketeers that were, and that sucks. I don't even dislike Triple H, to be honest. I think if people watch this show, they may think so. We're just here to give our observations. I've actually liked Triple H very much. I think he's a nice human being. He's always been nice to me, but you got to separate. We have a job to do, and then there's friendship. Shawn Michaels has always been great to me. I love Shawn. He's the very first WWE superstar I ever met with Shawn Michaels in Kansas City. And imagine this, Vince. I'm 22 years old, and if anybody knows anything about Shawn Michaels, he married the lead WCW Nitro girl.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know anything about the Nitro girls, they were solid.
Mm-hmm.
Solid. Imagine him walking into my local station in Kansas City. And all of these, we're like Market 31, kind of a big market, but it's not New York. Imagine Shawn Michaels walking in 1999 with that. What do you think happened in that local TV station, Vince?
Yeah, I can imagine.
Oh, it was a buzz.
Yeah.
It was a buzz.
Yeah.
All right, our second Wheel of Doom winner, Hitesh, has shown up.
Yes.
He said, I heard Saudi is already promoting The Rock and Roman Reigns for WrestleMania 43 or some sort of main tourism company with posters. Understand this, Hitesh, and everybody else. In other parts of the world, I'll give you an example. So one time we went to Mexico. There are certain places that Vince will hire people to shut things down. There's other places where they'll say, you know what? They could do whatever they want. In Mexico, where the cartel is everywhere, they sell illegal merchandise. Vince would be like, hey, you guys do you. We're good. I remember we did a show in Mexico. It's like, yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
My guess is that over in the Middle East, it's not worth the time or the effort to go after somebody making a poster with The Rock and Roman Reigns on it.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
I do agree. That does make sense. Yes.
It was funny the first time I went to Mexico, and he had shut it down so many different places, and they're literally right out on the street, Vince, like lined up, illegal vendors.
Yeah.
Didn't touch him. Didn't touch him. It's like, hey, they need to make a living too. Oh, really? You didn't say that in Argentina? That's crazy. Jimmy Fingers. Frank, you got some work to do. How authentic do you feel Stephanie's Hall of Fame reaction was? And is it me or is Taker starting to come off like a company shill for that steady TKO paycheck? Your thoughts, Vince?
I don't know, because it's just it's really guys, I worked for the company. I worked for the company for 5 years, and what getting into the Hall of Fame means to those people, I cannot relate to. I honestly cannot relate to it. Now, I would feel differently about it if your peers were voting, the fans would vote, were voting. There was actually a Hall of Fame. Like, there may be some things that would make me understand, but at the end of the day, when one person, maybe two, is making the call, it really is hard for me to just revel in it, the way they do. It's hard for me to. It's just hard for me to relate.
You took my line. I always said this because it's a tough thing for me, and it's a tough spot for me and Vince to be in, because there's a lot of our friends that I respect a lot who are WWE Hall of Famers. Now, people ask me all the time, Vince, Coach, you're the only one to do this and ESPN into this. If they called you and inducted you into the Hall of Fame, would you go? Would you do it? And I said, I will do it the day that there's an actual Hall of Fame for me to walk into and look at my bust.
Right.
It's not Canton, Ohio. It's not right. There's no brick and mortar. The only Hall of Fame member that has a thing is Undertaker in Saudi Arabia. And oh, by the way, that TKO paycheck, everybody, there you go. Oh, he's a company shill. Vince, if I made $4.5 million a year, I would shill the hell out of that company.
Yeah, I would too. Coach, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Why isn't there a brick and mortar Hall of Fame?
They're expensive and it loses money. They're very, very expensive to keep up because everything has to look good. I used to live in North Canton, Ohio for a very short period of time. The NFL Hall of Fame is in Canton. Very, very. And so they rely on donations.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of companies out there going, you know what, let's hook up the WWE, especially now, multi-billion dollar. So it's just one of those things. And also, I don't think it would be a big tourist thing. Yeah. I don't, you'd have to have a bunch of videos in there, probably a movie, running videos. I just don't know that it'd be that popular.
Profitable. Yeah.
Vince, I might have to apologize. Our next one, if this is true, Matt Heaton, producer man, head coach and bro. Coach, I don't know if you've seen Michael Cole's pre-show essay. He did. It showed you a lot connecting WWE to ESPN years ago. Has anyone in the company reached out to you to say thank you? This is the first time realizing that but that was on the pre-show. What I got heard at is the package that showed at the beginning of WrestlePalooza. But if they did that and they showed us, first and foremost, I thank them for it. Quote me, dirt sheets. I thank them for it. B, I'm not gonna say it, Vince. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. They should have, damn it. They should have.
Yeah, they should. Absolutely.
They
yes.
should have. They
yes.
should have. They should have. I'm telling you right now that the Fox deal doesn't happen. Does not happen. That was the first $1 billion deal. Does not happen without me and my guys. Doesn't happen.
Yeah.
They use that content to get that deal. That's how it works.
Yep.
Vince, literally, this is a quote from Vince McMahon and Kevin Dunn. Coach, we need to be able to get onto a main network. We can't do Spike TV deals anymore. We can't do these smaller places. Do they do those smaller places anymore?
Yeah. And how long ago was that, Coach? How long
2015, 16, and 17.
Wow.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, setting the stage.
In fact, WWE paid for our set because Kevin Dunn wanted it to look great on SportsCenter.
Yeah.
So they made our set because ESPN at that time didn't want to spend the money on a set.
Yeah.
I've got all of these receipts, Vince. Plus, it was all on video.
Wow.
3 years we did it. 3 years.
Yeah.
Crazy. But Matt, if they did, I say thank you to Michael Cole and because Michael was the one who set it all up with me. Let's go to Reese Bond. He says, what have we gotten to do to persuade Vince not to retire? I can't deal listening to the rest of them lefty dingbats like Cornette. Coach, you're a cool dude too. Thank you, Reese. We're getting more and more popular, Vince, because of these good people in the chat.
Yeah, and I'm not retiring. Like people have to stop. I am not. First of all, I love podcasting probably more than anything I've ever done in my life, Coach. And there's nothing like working for yourself, Coach. You know that. You get to work with who you want to. You roll out of bed. You go in your little, makeshift studio. There's nothing like it. So I am not retiring anytime soon.
I'm a little bit hurt, Vince.
Go ahead, Coach.
At no point in that little repartee that you just gave to the fans did you mention the coach. At no point. No, you said podcasting. You did not people that I adore, that I love. You never said with the coach, he's my favorite.
That goes without saying. Coach, that goes without saying.
Apparently, Triple H feels the same way. All right. Tyler Dunn. I'm on fire today, baby. I'm on fire. Tyler says WCW start of 99, 40,000 at Georgia Dome, fell off a cliff by the end of the year. Can you see WWE having a similar issue if the lack of awareness continues? Vince, 2002. The Rock leaves to go do movies in what I still consider one of the biggest mistakes in the history of wrestling. What do I mean? I talked to him and I said, you're leaving cold turkey? Yeah, I'm leaving cold turkey because my agents have told me that I need to separate myself from the wrestling business. And that's exactly what he did. But Vince, you remember his first 3 or 4 movies were flops. Financially didn't make any money. Why? Because wrestling fans are very protective of their own until one of their own walks out the door and leaves them high and dry. The fans made The Rock, and the way they showed their frustration with him walking out was what, Vince?
Didn't go to the movies.
Didn't go to the movies.
Yep.
Didn't spend the money. So all of his good movies, which I actually really liked the early ones, didn't make any money. So what did The Rock have to do? He went to franchises. Fast and Furious. Those made a lot of money. So we went through a stage, Vince. So I'll never forget, one week we were in Nashville, Tennessee. The arena holds 20,000 people. I had a promo that I had to cut to an empty side of the arena because we had a little over 2,000 people in the building. It can happen. It can happen. I've seen it. I lived through it. And, of course, we got out of that phase when John Cena became big and we had some other stars. But it's a star-driven business. And when The Rock walked away, fans were like, screw all of you. And they stopped showing up for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. It was crazy. Let's keep it going. Varsity VA. Steph gets in before Vince, Shane, and China. Also, there was no need for the app because the highlights were on YouTube minutes after the match. You guys are so smart. You guys are the smartest wrestling fans out there. Vince, how does and I actually said this on the air that I said ESPN will not make the same mistake that Netflix does because they understand how important highlights are. Netflix does not. I'm a little surprised that wasn't in the deal.
Unless we're missing something, Coach. And I did make contact with the former USA Network exec. I'm trying to get him on this show. We are talking back and forth so we can get an understanding of this because, Coach, it makes such little sense to me that I just keep going back to Vince, you're missing something. You have
it feels that way.
You have to be missing something. Is ESPN cut in on the YouTube dollars?
Oh no,
possibly.
No. They've got 100 million. Their YouTube channel is actually bigger than ESPN. Think about that. They have over 100 million subscribers on their YouTube channel. You get YouTube. YouTube pays by the view. That's why they do it. They're making money, a lot of money on their YouTube channel. That's why they just bought Logan Paul's his podcast.
Yeah.
But Logan Paul kept the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because you get paid so much. Yeah. So we're missing something. But I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is.
I don't either because I really do think about this stuff to try to figure it out. But I can't wait. We've got to get him on this show because this will be a guy that knows.
I can't wait to get him on the show. And also, this is essentially pay-per-view. And guys, during the pay-per-view era, you did not see finishes anywhere for at least 48 hours because people were still buying the pay-per-view.
Yes.
2 or 3 years later. Remember that, Vince?
Absolutely. The encore.
The encore.
Yep.
And you could get it for like $10 less or $15 left, whatever it was. But that was still a lot of money the company would bring in. They said, Jimmy Fingers, he's putting it on lockdown today.
I got to tell you something, Coach. I got to tell you, I got on my my Twitter feed. Jimmy Fingers put up a video of him playing the drums.
Really?
Oh my God! Knocked my socks off, Jimmy Fingers.
I feel like we need to have Jimmy Fingers make our new theme song for the show.
Yes, there you go.
Every now and then we've got to update our theme song, and it's I like it, but. Jimmy, if you want to put something together.
Yeah, Jimmy's got talent, man, over there in Boston, man.
I'm all ears. He said, I forgot to add, how authentic were Triple H's tears after the staged HOF announcement? Or was Hunter just Jimmy, come on. Come on. Take that down, producer man. Take that down.
Well, you see, this is where you got to ask questions, guys, because I was writing when Shane McMahon became a character on television. Shane McMahon was a character on television before Stephanie McMahon was a character on television. However, Stephanie McMahon jumps Shane McMahon into getting in the Hall of Fame. See, this is where you got to start asking the questions. So how does that work that Stephanie gets in before Shane? And let's face it. Hey, listen, I'm not going to take anything away from Stephanie as an on-air performer. Not at all. All the McMahons were superstars. Absolutely superstars. But the stuff Shane McMahon did in a wrestling ring is a little bit more than what Stephanie did. So how she gets in before him. But again, Coach, I'm always looking to give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they gave him an invite and he said no.
Nope.
We don't know.
Well, if he did, I doubt his son would have put that out on Twitter.
That's true. I forgot about that. That's absolutely true. You're right, Coach. I forgot all about that. Yes.
I've said this. I've been on record as saying this many, many times, that if Shane was not Vince's son, he'd be a top 10, top 15 superstar all time.
Absolutely.
The dude, you remember what's the movie? He's got balls as big as church bells, baby.
Yeah. And this is what we're talking about now. Now, Coach, that's a guy that didn't phone it in. That's what Coach and I are talking about. Shane McMahon wrestled every single match like it was his last.
His last.
Coach, that's why I got Janice I got Janis on my arm. I am a huge Janis Joplin fan, and I'll tell you why. Every song she sang, it was like the last song she was ever going to sing. She left it all out there. That's how these shows should be written. That's how they were written back in the Attitude Era. We are going to write the best show we possibly can this week, and next week's show's got to be better than tonight's show. That's the attitude. That's all Coach and I are looking for. We're looking for that type of attitude and work ethic. Shane McMahon in a wrestling ring.
He was one of the best. I'll tell you, this happened this morning. So my son's JJ. He's 15 years old. My daughter's a senior. And so my daughter had a senior sun up, they call it, where they one day in their senior, they get up and go watch the sun come up. Okay, whatever. But she had to get up at 5 a.m. She was out the door. So I had to take my son to school. And so he comes in. He's like, Dad, how'd the shows go this morning? Because I had 2 before he goes to school. I said, felt great. He goes, man, Dad, I'm amazed at how energetic you are. You always sound like you love doing it more than anything. I was like, thank you, son. And we got into a conversation about that riding to school. And I said, son, I have this saying, don't be too cool for school. Meaning if you're going to do something, whatever it is, and it's your time, then you got to show everybody that you're into it. He's a scratch golfer. He shoots 71, 70 every day. And I said, you've got to show the people when they're watching you, you're excited to be out there. You love it because you put in so many hours when nobody sees you. When you get to perform, let me know that you love performing.
Yeah.
And it was cool that he would say that about me on this show because I don't give a damn. You're going to get everything I have every show.
Absolutely, yes.
And that's all we ask. That's all we ask.
That's it.
All right, Frank and Jimmy Fingers, you guys are fighting it out. Coach, forgot to ask, but did you get to see Vince's Academy Award-winning performance of him being a Triple H supporter? It was on a Friday that he did it. Did you do something behind my back, Vince?
Me being a Triple H supporter.
Yeah.
Well, you got to help me with this, Frank. What did I say? I don't recall.
I don't know.
Listen, I always am. I'm always trying to give Hunter the benefit of the doubt because I'm like, Coach, listen, I knew Hunter pre-marriage. Okay. One of the nicest guys I ever worked with in my life. There isn't anything in the world I would not have done for that guy. Coach, when they did the curtain call at Madison Square Garden, I was the only one talking to him. And I was the only one telling him, man, they're going to test you, bro. They're going to test you. Don't let them get you down. They're going to test you. And he survived all that. There isn't anything I wouldn't have done for that guy. I don't know the Triple H with the power. I don't know that guy. I've not had a conversation with him. I've not seen him. We exchanged one email. That's the extent of it. But here's all that I'm saying, man. As a television viewer, as somebody that watches television, if you want my time to watch your product, you've got to earn my time.
No matter who it is.
Right. My time is valuable. I'm not going to watch something subpar and mediocre. My time is valuable to me. So earn my time. That's all I've been saying from day one.
And we agree on that. That's what this show is all about. And we all do a lot of different things. Everybody that's watching in the chat right now, and there's so many different names. You guys are amazing. And you have lives too. You have jobs. You have things you got to do, families. And so for me, every minute of my day,
yes,
thank God for COVID. I may be the only person to ever say thank God for COVID because driving into downtown LA takes me an hour and a half. Now I sit in the beautiful confines of my beautiful home, and I just churn out show after show after show. So I have a tendency to look at the positive. Triple H is one of the most self-aware people I've ever been around in the wrestling business. Vince, the other day, we have a merch. She's amazing. She does our social media, and she did our merch store. And she made like 3 or 4 things with my face on it. And I said to her, nothing with Coach's face on it. Why not? You're the face of the brand. I said, I'm tired of Coach. So if I'm tired of Coach, then the fans are tired. Because my name's on like 3 or 4 different shows.
Yeah.
So if I'm Triple H, how am I not so self-aware to say I'm putting myself on everything? Take a step back.
Unless you're trying to make yourself irreplaceable.
That's it. That's the point.
Yeah.
There's a lot at stake here, guys. Think about it. It's not about, are they going to go broke? Are they not going to have anything? This is about a power play with big-time players who make seven figures, tens of millions of dollars. And for Triple H, if he's not in the wrestling business, Vince, he's not happy. This is all that he knows.
Yeah.
And I guarantee a little bit of him is panicking. Because if he doesn't have this and he's in his mid-50s, Vince is 80 and would still be going if not for what's going on. Can you imagine staring at 25 years of not doing what you spent your entire adult life doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what he's facing right now. That's why I give him the benefit of the doubt. Because I don't know how I would react in that situation when it's not about money. It's about power. It's about prestige. It's about legacy. Yeah. That's what it's about right now.
That's true. That is true.
The True Serum says, Coach, your WrestlePalooza royalty check should be there soon. LOL.
Very nice.
If you know, you know. But do you think ESPN has some sort of out if this does not go well? It's a good question. If this was anybody other than WWE, Vince, I would say probably. But Nick Khan is so good. And remember, guys, Nick Khan used to be the top agent in the business. He had Kirk Herbstreit. He did my second deal at ESPN, and I took a $60,000 pay cut. Thank you, Nick. However, he's had this relationship with ESPN for a long time. Now, most of those executives are gone already. But I think that he's so good at negotiating, he probably got them to do it without a loophole and an out. That's how good he is at negotiating. Except my deal.
Yeah. I would just think, I don't know, first and foremost. I would just think with the kind of money we're talking about, Coach, there's got to be some type of out. I would imagine, but I don't know. I'm just saying that.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I don't know either. All right, Jimmy Fingers, you've officially been crowned Monday, September 22nd, Super Sticker of the Day. Here's your last one. Vince, feel free to use any sound bites off my album that I sent you.
Very nice.
That's free domain, guys. Plus, you'd be helping your boy out getting it heard.
Yes.
Hard Rock always puts fires on an intro. I suggest the track Victim. Okay.
Yes.
Jimmy, we do that. Producer man's great at this kind of stuff. We'll put something together, change it up a little bit, and give you all the love in the world. All right. We have no issues doing that. I love supporting other people.
Absolutely.
We do the best.
Absolutely.
All right, last one, and then I've got a Monday Night Football show to get ready for. Hatesh, I feel Brock is doing the same thing as forever. Not interested in a Heyman reunion. That's 20 years old. How about bringing Sable to be Brock's manager? Vince.
I'd rather see something fresh and new than Paul Heyman all over again. Everybody knows how I feel about that.
Well, Paul right now is, I think, trying to figure out exactly what his role is going to be. And what's weird, Vince, is Paul is knee-deep in a lot of different places in the company. Because when he does interviews, he's like, I'm working with these people. Oh, I'm worried about this. Well, I'm talking about long-term WrestleMania storylines over here. I didn't even know he was a big part of the creative team. I know he loves to help talent with promos and stuff like that. But it seems like to me, he's risen and he's got a lot of power backstage. It feels like to me.
Oh, I'm sure he does. You can't be there that long and not have that type of power. I mean, you can't be there that long. Coach, I swear there was a shot, man. I popped huge. There was the king of pops. Okay. Bro, listen, I am sorry. These two girls, their names are too difficult to pronounce and they sound similar. We got Lyra Velcro and Stephanie Vakor. Horrible freaking names. Nobody can pronounce these names. But anyway, Stephanie Vakor wins the title from
Io Sky.
Io Sky.
Yeah.
So there's footage. We're following her in the back.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. And who's the first one there? Trips. Coach. Here, this is Stephanie. I'm Trips. Coach. Pops rest his forehead on her forehead like this, that their foreheads are now freaking touching. And I'm like, bro, are you gonna rub noses with this chick? Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing here?
Was this on the show or on social?
No. This was backstage footage. It was not on the show. Yeah, but he's resting it. They're resting their foreheads against each other like this.
She's an NXT OG, right? Like she was. Yeah.
Yeah, she was one that she got the hat and the hug from Sean, I think, at some point.
But did she, Vince? Did she get the finger point of doom?
I did not see that. I just saw the forehead to forehead. I did not see this. I did not see that picture yet.
I mean, we pay homage to Triple H every single Thursday with the Wheel of Doom.
Yes.
Don't say we don't respect Triple H, because we do. We have a thing on the show because of it. But yes, and Vince, also, when you're using a name, a lot of us would change our names. I never did. I just went by the coach. But Lyra Valkyrie and Stephanie Valkyrie is really, really similar.
Come on.
Really similar.
What about Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker?
The Bronze? They call them the Bronze now.
That would have never happened with Vince. Do you know, Coach, when I started working at the WWE and I thought this was the most ridiculous thing, do you know they had to refer to me as Russo in the office because there can't be two Vinces?
For real?
As a absolute shoot. And now we've got wrestlers whose names are almost identical. Okay.
It's crazy. Same thing happened to me. Everybody started calling me The Rock. They're like, there's only one Rock. There's only one Rock. It was crazy. It was nuts. I said, okay, I'll go by the coach. All right. If that's what you want. All right. I think that's all of them. Several of you.
How far back does the coach go? Like grade school?
3 years old. Yeah. It's my real last name.
Really?
Real last name. I've been the coach since I was 3. Always been the coach. Yeah. I literally I can't, on my Sirius XM Open, it says Off the Ropes with Jonathan Coachman. I said, if it's not changed by Christmas, we're gonna have a real issue. a real issue. I told you about what happened on the set at ESPN. I was doing college, we call them wraps, when you're wrapping around halftime or whatever. So I'm on the set with Jay Williams, who was the number 2 pick in the draft out of Duke, went to Chicago Bulls, shredded his knee in a motorcycle, spinning a motorcycle in a church parking lot. Cost him probably $100 million, I'm guessing. So it's him and a guy named Seth Greenberg. Seth Greenberg had over 300 wins in the ACC at Virginia Tech. So they would say it was KU in Missouri. All right, at halftime, KU's up 45-30. Let's send it back to the studio and Jonathan Coachman. Because on ESPN, I couldn't go by the nickname, at least when they were calling me that. So we'd come back and I go, all right, welcome back, everybody. It's halftime. Jay Williams, Seth, and the coach. And we get right into highlights. So after maybe half a year, he's really pissed. And I didn't know he was so pissed. He made a few joking comments. So we came back one time, and I said, Jay Williams, Seth, and the coach. And he goes, I remember when I used to be called the coach. I can remember when people would respect me enough to call me the coach after over 300 wins in the ACC. I do not know what possessed me to say this. But this is exactly what I said back to him. Now, keep in mind, this is at halftime of a game. We're live on ESPN.
Oh, my God.
And I looked at him, I said, Seth, you know what? When you can walk into Toys R Us and buy your action figure on my kids, I said this. I said, then and only then
oh my God,
will I call you the coach.
Oh my God.
And it was like dead silence. I knew as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was dead meat. Sure enough, the next day, no more nicknames on ESPN except like 2 BS ones just to make it look like they weren't picking on me. But it was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous.
So even in grade school, your friends called you coach?
Oh yeah. My entire life. My
Great.
entire life. Yeah.
Wow,
I mean, always.
Yeah.
A couple of more, because you guys are crazy like that. The WWE has a star problem. All their stars are 40-plus years old. Do you think Triple H is capable of creating the next star? That's a great, great, great question, because they just use NXT, Vince, they say, well, why can't they sign a star like we used to before OVW and all these places? Why can't we sign a star from some place and bring him right to the main roster? Why do they always have to go to NXT?
Because you've got wrestlers running it. That's why, and nobody's going to be bigger than they were. That's why. That's why.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You talk about legacy. That's part of protecting their legacy.
The first part of that is, I think it's a problem. The 40-plus-year-olds, because sometimes in this whole world of wrestling, we're, because Ric Flair wrestled into his 50s and 60s. No, think about main sports guys.
Yeah.
Rarely does a player play over the age of 40. Tom Brady was a unicorn. Aaron Rodgers is 41 now, can't move.
Look at Travis. How old is Travis Kelce?
35, only 35.
And look how much he slowed down. 35 years old.
Off a cliff. The wrestling business spoils us because you can protect athletes too. Like right now, I pick on CM Punk, but let's be honest, CM Punk's 46 years old.
Yeah.
Time, there's a reason that they say time or father time is undefeated. That's a saying. If we could play till we're 80, guess what? All of us would do it. Yeah. We'd wrestle and make millions of dollars until we were 80. It's not possible.
Yeah.
It's just not possible.
Yeah.
Last one, I promise you. If you send any more, don't send me an email saying, Coach, you didn't get to mine. We did it for 45 minutes. What did I say at the top of the show, Vince? I said we try to go 45. We'll go 90. We're at 90. Yes. Vince, I'm dying of laughter, bro. Resting your head on the mic like that.
I just don't know when Triple H became everybody's father. I don't know.
There it is.
I don't know. There it is. Yes, producer man.
Let's go.
I don't know when this guy became everyone's dad. I just don't know how that happened, man.
You have not arrived, and your career has not gone off the other side until you get the finger point of doom. Look at him, Zelina Vega. When's the last time we saw her?
Yeah.
The list goes on and on. I mean, in fact, CM Punk. Okay, remember on Unreal? He's like, let's mess with everybody. Yeah. I'll give you the finger point back.
Yeah.
What? Oh my goodness. I will say this, all kidding aside, because we do criticize him quite a bit. But at the end of the day, if I was in that position, Vince, and if I was making millions and millions of dollars, and I was getting to travel around on private jets, and I'm the last person that makes the call and everything, I'd want some grace. I would like to think I'm a little bit more self-aware, but I've got to – I mean, he's in an incredible spot that everybody would be in. And on the next show on Thursday, we're going to talk about an interview, Vince, that Cody Rhodes did last week when he was asked about succeeding Triple H as the head of creative.
I saw that.
He did not dodge the question at all. Yeah. We're going to talk about that in the next show. KS says, favorite dream match. We're going to keep this one. We're going to answer it on Thursday because I have another show. If I don't stop right now, the other show doesn't get done. I got two brands that I got to run here. So we're going to end it right here. Producer man, we're going to answer this question next and the last one there, and we have to go. Vince, Thursday, live on Stadium. Are you ready to go?
I will be ready to rock. Let's do it. Yep.
Oh, man. All right. With that being said, you guys, thank you so very much. We love this. We're live every single Monday night at 5 p.m. Eastern time. If you are a football fan and you want to get ready for the Lions and the Ravens tonight, we'll be live in 30 minutes on our Coach and Company YouTube channel and also on social media. Once again, thank you for Vince Russo. Check all of his stuff out at russosbrand.com. Producer man behind the scenes. I am the coach. We'll see you Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern time on Stadium, Bally Sports Live, Amazon Prime, YouTube TV. The list goes on and on. This is, and there's only one, the Coach and Bro Show. Take care.